Now, this is looking good. Let's make each of these link to a dedicated article page where they can view and read the full thing. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to open up our layout file. And right up here where we have careers, why don't we change that to articles? Like so. So now if I come back, there we go. Next, we're going to register a route for articles, but this time we're going to switch over to a dedicated controller. So we'll say, if you visit articles / and then some kind of article, so I will use a wildcard here, then I will load a controller that does not exist. Articles controller, and then a method called show, because we're showing an article. All right, let's create that controller. PHP Artisan, make me controller called articles controller. All right. Okay, so now if we open up the articles controller, we'll create that method show. And again, this is where we show an article. Now, there's a cool technique called route model binding that I'll show you in a future episode. But for now, think about it. This is going to accept the ID of the article, or the slug, or whatever you pass through. So if we were to die or dump and die that, let's take a look. If I go to articles /1, this value will be the wildcard from our route. Okay, so all we have to do is find the article that has that ID. So let's do this. Let's bring it back to ID, and then we'll say article equals article. And this time I'm going to import it at the top. Article find by the given ID. Then I will return a view. I could call this article, or typically you'll store these in directories. You'll nest them within a directory. So I could say articles.show and then send through the article we care about. Now, if I go to our resources directory, end of views, we'll create a brand new directory called articles, and then within there, a new file called show.blade. Okay, so let's steal some of this about page, just to be very quick about it. We're not going to have the sidebar, and then I'll reformat. Okay, but now there's something I want you to see. If we try to view this page, articles /1, we've lost all of our styling. And if I view the page source, that's because of the way we are linking to it. So take a look at this. We'll go back to our layout file, and here at the top, we link to our style sheets like so. And it's basically a relative path. So instead, you have a couple choices. One, you could be explicit that you want to begin from the public root. So if I came back and gave this a refresh now, that would work. Or you could use a helper function Laravel provides called asset to link to any asset you need to. For now, let's keep it like that. And again, this is what we get. All right, but let's see what's up with this image here. Once again, we have a relative link. We're going to start from scratch, or from the root. Perfect. Okay, so now this should contain the contents of the article. So I could say, give me the article's title. Here we don't have a byline, so I'll get rid of that. And all of this stuff will be replaced with the body of the article. And there we go. And in fact, even the thumbnail here could be stored in the database. Not the image itself, but a path to the thumbnail that you want to use. You might store in the database. Okay, so we're getting close. If I go back to the About Us section, each of these should now link to the corresponding article. All right, let's do that now. I'll go to About. Here's the sidebar, and it sounds like each of these should be wrapped within, or at least the title. Let's stick with that for now. And paragraph, let's not bother with that. Okay, so what is the path? It would be articles / and then the ID of the current article. That is the destination we want to link to. So if we come back and refresh and we click on this, there's the full blog post. Let's go back and do another one, getting to know us, and there you go. All right, and that'll do it for this lesson. So if you're working along and you'd like some homework, see if you can figure out how to get this article section to work. At the moment, it's not linking anywhere. So your first step, just to give you a head start, you'd go to your layout file, you'd update the path to the articles, you'd do /articles, and then, well, if you visit that page doesn't exist. So you would need to add a new route. When the user visits this URI, which controller should we load? Which action? And then what should we do in that action? Well, you should probably fetch all of the articles, or a paginated set of articles. So play around with that on your own and see if you can figure out a way to render all of the articles in a typical blog format.